This is your boy Ty Asbury from Between the Ropes Radio, and when I can think of one lady who loves to put in the grind in the professional wrestling ring, I can only think of one lady. She is the queen of combat. My girl Savannah Evans returned to Between the Ropes Radio to talk to your boy Ty Asbury about everything she is doing in professional wrestling. When you want an episode with some combat, it is Savannah Evans.
Between the Ropes Radio. Yeah. Yeah. Let's take this between the ropes. The best podcast, I'm here letting you know. Tyrone Asbury here to take it over. Let the man speak as he here. The break is over. We in the culture for all the news and incredible style. No other podcast explaining it now. This is the show of the dreams. Information for all.
There's nothing you shouldn't combat with. No reason. Instead, if I had to guess, you're waiting, and your boy Ty Asbury knows, you're waiting for Between the Ropes Radio, which will be airing on Facebook Watch Party. Now, we experienced some combat tonight. This lady loves combat in the ring. My guest from Charlotte's premier wrestling experience, Queens of Combat, the beautiful, the one and only, Miss Savannah Evans. Savannah, what is up?
Hey, how's it going? Glad to be back on.
It's been a while, and you're not the only one that said this. Like, damn, it's been 3 years already, and yeah, it has been. But most importantly, thank you for coming back on the show and talking to your boy Ty Asbury, because I know you've had a lot going on since then, and that's why we're here. Because I want to ask you a lot of things and what's been going on in the life of Savannah Evans.
Yeah, it's definitely to do another. It's good to do another one of these, I should say. Like you said, to catch up and everything like that. I believe, I guess 3 years ago, I would have just been maybe 2 years in the business, and now this is my 6th year. So obviously a lot has changed. Getting out and about, and get more eyes on my name and that kind of thing.
Now, for you, like you just said, you want to get, people, you want their eyes to see your name, what you do in the ring. How do you feel that you've done in that category, meaning getting more fans to see you, promoters, pretty much the entire wrestling world? How do you feel you've, accomplished that in those terms?
Much better off than last time I did the podcast, but as far as like my expectations, I definitely have a lot, to look forward to, a lot on the horizon. Would definitely, obviously, want to go further in wrestling, but like I said, a lot better off than I was before, as far as like in ring, obviously. Just, I guess it's cliche, but coming to my own basically is what I would say. Just having fun and doing my thing, and being able to enjoy that with people, with the fans, is great.
Now, I got to ask, guys, we all know there's only one and only, of course, Queens of Combat and wrestling, which is you. Now, if I said that I think you're the one and only, why get more cool points for saying that?
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
I was like, yeah. She. So I had to throw that in there because I know you've been through a lot in the ring, and that's why we're here on the show to talk to you about what's been going on in the ring. Because you being a professional wrestler, every wrestler, you guys go through so much in the ring, and that's why I wanted to bring you back on the show to see what's been going on. With of course Queens of Combat, Savannah Evans. Now you're back on the show. And what can you tell people who will be watching this episode of Between the Ropes Radio? What can you tell them? What are they going to get out of your return to Between the Ropes Radio?
Oh, man. Well, hopefully they've checked out the first. If they haven't, don't worry. Like, you're here for this one. I guess just, man, definitely always plug in my social media. Check me out there. Do not go to my YouTube. I'm in the middle of kind of revamping all of that stuff and working on, like weekly content and that kind of thing. I think that's super important, especially right now, during a pandemic when not nearly as many shows are running as usual. It's good to keep content out there for, fans, for everybody, for promoters, just keeping our names out there, keeping it relevant.
Now, of course, you touched upon this crazy, insane coronavirus, COVID, we all know, and it definitely hasn't really affected professional wrestling a lot, more so with the independent scene. How have you made out with the whole pandemic?
I mean, I definitely in the beginning it was just kind of like, okay, well, what do we do now? Where do we go from here? Things are shut down. Obviously, we had the shelter in place in North Carolina at the very, I say it was at the very end of March, the last week. They were like, no, everyone just stay home. So, I mean, that was different. I won't say it was difficult, but it was different. It was an adjustment. And then we were able to go back to work. Gyms actually did not reopen North Carolina until a week and a half ago. So that, to me, that's kind of been not the roughest, but again, just like an adjustment to make, going from being able to, move weight at the gym to, okay, well, let's switch it up. Let's go outside, or, let's do an at-home workout. Like I bought a set of, dumbbells and mini plates for at home. But again, I feel like you can only do so much. And also it's just not the same. Like I really get into a weird mindset, like a routine. Like when I'm out of that routine, it kind of wears on me a little bit. But I mean, I haven't, made off too bad during the pandemic. I'm super hopeful about, shows starting back up, really being more regular. There's a few running here and there. And then obviously the bigger indies are, still up and running and, starting to again. So I think, it's only a matter of time before that's kind of a little more widespread. But it hasn't been too bad. I'll say that. I don't think it's been horrible. There've been some times where you're just like, man, like, can stuff just get back to normal? But I understand, it's definitely better to err on, the side of caution, to be not so risky with everything.
And I know it must be killing you because, I mean, everybody knows who watches you in the ring. We know how you operate, and it's hardcore. And I'm thinking, like, I know Savannah's like, I want to get in the ring and just beat the piss out of somebody. And it must suck. But, the one thing I know that's going to make you laugh, there was a few weeks ago, of course, everybody has to work out at home. Gyms being closed, like you touched upon. Now, I went to Walmart where I live at. They had no dumbbells in sight. I'm like, what the heck? At least like I was so out of it.
Right.
And I'm thinking like, and now you touched upon it, I was like, and I'm like thinking like, man, Savannah must have came and just brought them all up. I'm just joking. I'm just pointing leg, but I'm just like, people have I'm like, how the hell? I can see you ran out of milk. Like, how the hell you run out of dumbbells? Like, it's just, and now Savannah, like you said,
yeah,
that's how crazy it is.
It is. And I want to say it did not take many places long to run out of weights and run out of dumbbells. It was crazy because I think everyone at the same time was realizing, we still want to, get our good workout on. We still want to be fit, but now we have limited access to different things. And so I feel like weights went really quick, and I was lucky to get mine. I don't think it was Amazon. I think it was like another app. Actually it was an app called Offer Up. And I was looking on that app like, man, is anyone in the area? Like, got any, weights they're trying to sell? And I saw someone had just posted maybe like 2 hours prior that they had a weights that they were selling. And I hit them up. I was like, is this still available? And they said, no, I just sold it. But my friend has the same exact weight set. Let me check with him. And I was lucky, I was able to get them. That post had only been up 2 hours, and in 2 hours it was already sold. Like, it was crazy. But I was able to get the weight set, and that's kind of helped me just still being able to do stuff at home. And then I was able to go to a friend's house occasionally where he has, I don't know what model of truck it is, but it's like a smaller pickup truck.
Yeah.
And, you know, we put it in neutral and like push it up and down and like just anything we could do, you know, to kind of work up a sweat and like, you know, get tired.
So you actually, I was going to ask you as far as like what workouts have you been doing since the whole pandemic thing has happened? You're actually saying part of your workout routine is actually pulling a truck, because if you have, I'm not surprised. I mean, because of course you're Savannah Evans. Have you really done that for a truck?
Yeah, so we weren't really, well, we were actually, hold on. Yeah, it was a small truck and we would just push it in the driveway, and then eventually we were pulling it, like essentially trying to do like a seated row with it almost, but like obviously your legs are engaged, you're pulling the truck. So I mean, I got to move a little bit, but pushing it was definitely easier for me. It was, you know, a little unconventional stuff, but that's what you got to do in a pandemic when the world's ending.
Now, the world ending, and you know, Savannah, the way this world's going, you never know. But I look at it this way. Of course, first things first, we all know everybody watching the show, you have to wear a mask and do whatever. But, you know, I think people don't listen. They just have to wear a mask. When you go outside to the store, that's it. Just wear a mask. It's that simple. But,
Right.
you know, people just don't get it. And Savannah, if you don't mind me, when we end the show, I have to tell my family who are also wrestling fans, I'm going to say Savannah Evans, who I had on my show, she pulls a truck for her workouts. And my family, I know they're going to be like, damn. So,
yeah, it was definitely different.
but we definitely.
I'm sure they'll get a kick out of that.
that's just remarkable. And you know, if it works for you, I damn sure couldn't do it. But if it works for you, you must be doing something right. If you've gotten this far by doing that for your workouts, you must be doing something right. And I can't say how much I'm proud of you in your career. For the last time since we talked, big things, of course, happening for the one and only Queens of Comedy. I'm talking to Savannah Evans, making her return to Between the Ropes Radio. And Savannah, I know you're going to say, dude, don't even mention that. I think we're pretty much over summer, because where I'm at in the mountains, it's getting cold. So that's how I know the summer's pretty much almost done. Now, how was wrestling for you, like in the summer, I guess, was, you know, I mean, as far as matches and promotions, I guess take it the summer, was that pretty much laid back for you?
Yeah, I kind of laid a little bit low during the summer. I had a couple shows. I want to say maybe it was early August. I had a show up near Maryland for, I want to say it was not First, maybe like a Fight Club. No, not Fight Club. I feel horrible. I can't remember the name of the promotion, but Trish Adora is their champion, the Pan-African diaspora champion, I believe it is. Diaspora champion. So I was up there and I got the chance to wrestle an intergender match with Killian McMurphy. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and you know, it's a matter of, I think we all need, like you said, I really like what you said, where you had to take that time off. I think probably if you being an athlete, there's nothing wrong with taking that time off, heal your body, because I know, you know, all the brutal schedule that you have. And I would think, if you could definitely answer this for me, since you had that time off in the summer, do you feel more relaxed and like saying to yourself, damn, I needed that?
Yeah, it was kind of both, you know what I mean? Like a double-edged sword, as far as, yes, it's like your body got to recoup and recover and you feel, you know, fresh in that aspect, but at the same time it's like, man, I'm not in a ring nearly as much as I usually am. And then you kind of start to feel, well, am I getting like rusty? Or, you know, you just get the itch really to get back in the ring. So I understood that I had to play it safe, because, you know, we didn't know how serious, you know, things were going to be But I look at it as both, you know, good and bad. You know, you like I said, you get that chance to recover, recoup, maybe reevaluate some things that you wouldn't have if you were on your normal, you know, every weekend schedule.
Now, Miss Savannah, we of course we're heading into, of course, the fall time, so we're going to kind of go into a little stage here on Between the Ropes Radio call. I guess I call it fall forward. Fall, of course, I had to throw in there, but I know you're going to say it, and I'm saying, you know, you better say it because I know how you operate in the ring. But falling forward for the fall, what do you want to accomplish heading into the fall and wrestling? And I hope you better say win 10 titles because, you know, it's possible. It's possible. So what's up for you coming into the fall time?
Man, well, I want to say maybe it was this time last year I had 5 titles. So maybe this year I shoot for 10. That's not a bad one. That's a good call. Man, right now I just want to get back to wrestling regularly, and you know, we don't know when that's going to be, but I just want to get out there, keep wrestling, you know, top names and stuff like that. Like that's a goal for me is just you know, still getting out to different places, debuting places, and you know, upping the following, really, like getting better at what I do.
Now, when we were both talking about the show, getting the show together, when you told me this, I was like, I'll be damned. She's lucky, but she's earned this. We're going to move more forward with falling forward. Now, September 26th, the Queen and the House, Ryan House. Now, this event is going to be huge. Now, when you got the green light on this, that you're going to be appearing for this event, we're talking about Eddie Kingston, you know, who's the head honcho for the show. Like, what was the first word that came to your mind thinking that,
Yep.
I'm gonna be, like, what were you thinking? Like, damn, I'm going to be on this show.
The minute I saw that show, I was like, what? like, you know, it's going to be legit. You know, Eddie Kingston has his name on it. So it's like, what more could you want? And then as far as, you know, people that are going to be on it, I saw, you know, James Drake was going to be there, Anthony Henry. I was like, you know, those are my guys. So I was like, man, I like have to get on this show too. It just, you know, it just reminds me of, I don't want to say like, you know, underground or like Fight Club or anything like that, but it's kind of like a different look at wrestling. I'd say that. Like I assume like way more, you know, way more brawling, you know, more punches and kicks thrown. I think it's gonna be hot. I hope a lot of people like tune in to make this thing big on Fight TV. Like it has the potential to be huge, in my opinion.
Now, when I first saw, I love the name of this event called Ryan House. Now, who came up with that name? Because I mean, we all know there's so many wrestling event names out there. I mean, Slam Jam, Booty, Headlock, Anniversary. I'm just throwing stuff out there, but. Savannah, do you know who came up with that name? Because I think it's a really good name.
I don't know. I wouldn't put it past him that Kingston came up with it, but you might have to check with him, ask him about it.
Yeah, and of course, if talking the story more about, of course, Ryan House coming up on, of course, we're talking about September 26th, and of course, fans, check this out. It's going to be an amazing event. Heading into that, is there something that you want to – what is something that you want the fans to remember about your match when it's all said and done on September 26th?
Man, I want them to remember that I'm still a badass and I'm still out there. You know what I mean? Like, people that haven't, you know, seen me wrestle, I want them to walk away like, yo, I just saw, you know, this chick and she just she you know, domination. Like she threw that girl around. Like she didn't, you know, she wasn't a pushover. Like just more, you know, more of what I have to offer. Like, that's what I want to get across. I want to show people like I'm still out there. I'm still hungry. I'm still doing it.
Now, this is actually out of nowhere question. Of course, we all know in wrestling there's been stories of female performers talking about allegations, like pretty much people shouldn't be doing something they're doing towards female talent. We all know women and wrestlers with the allegations that this person did that. And I definitely want to ask you about that because we all know, I mean, you are Savannah Evans, and I know you ain't no joking. You would definitely knock somebody out. Now, what is your take on that and moving forward with that, with how women are treated in wrestling? Like, what do you think would be the cure to that heading forward?
I mean, for the simplest, I think, obvious thing, just right off top, is making sure those people that were exposed are done. You know what I mean? They're out. They're not allowed in any, circles in wrestling whatsoever. But also just kind of, everyone looking out for each other. Sometimes, some people treat the business like, you look out for yourself, but you have to look out for everyone else in the locker room too. If you see inappropriateness, like, you have to, cut that immediately. Like, if you don't have a certain rapport with someone, you know what you can and can't, say and do to that person. Like, what's appropriate, what's not. So I would like to think that going forward, when people's eyes and ears are also looking out for stuff like that, if you see something appropriate, don't, oh, maybe it's just fine. No, it's not. Like, talk to that person, or, or even talk to the promoter. You don't even have to approach the the people that it's involved. Maybe, talk to the promoter like, hey, this is what I saw, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and but my reply to that is as far as like men doing stuff like this in the business, it don't matter. Men, women, you guys overall, no matter what the promotion is, everybody's a team, and you guys are all in this together. Entertain the fans and do what you do, and that's wrestle. And guys, they need to just knock it off and let the ladies do what they do, because you are, as Savannah, you're also part of the evolution in women's wrestling. And just simple, knock it off, chill out, just chill. That's it. I mean, it's
right.
Just...
Like, it's weird to me, and maybe it shouldn't be. I don't know. It's weird to me how many people don't know, like that's not proper to behave that way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just be appropriate. Like, you don't have to be extra. Just behave and be appropriate.
Now, of course, Savannah, a whole lot about the city of Charlotte. Now, here on Between the Ropes Radio, we are going to what I call Charlotte's Corner. Now, this is going to be like a 2-segment, question, and I'm just going to bust it out. So the first I have to ask you, number 1 for, of course, Charlotte's Corner. Now, in your eyes, what do fans love about Premier Wrestling? One thing that you can think of.
Oh, over at PWX?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think that they offer like that flavor of wrestling that people enjoy, that's, not edgy, but it's okay, so let me backtrack. So, because we're in Charlotte in North Carolina, we're in the South. So, it's a Southern crowd that likes, their slower, story-driven wrestling. But it's also like Charlotte is kind of a mixed city where you have people that are, moving down from New York, or, moving up from Florida. So it kind of has its own different flavor. And I feel like PWX is good about capturing, watching, all together, not just today's wrestling, yesterday's wrestling, what's hot at WWE, this storyline. It's all combined, and it's all great. Like, you bring your kids to the show and they'll enjoy it. It's just well-rounded. I'd say it's well-rounded action, and a lot of people appreciate that.
Now, of course, part 2 of Charlotte's Corner, and I had to ask you this because people, of course, never been to Charlotte. Actually, I've never been there, but who doesn't like to eat? So I got to ask you this question now. Part 2 of Charlotte's Corner. Savannah Evans, before a match, says after the match, I'm going to grub on a super, super delicious meal in Charlotte. Savannah, can you tell all of us which is the best dish that you can get in Charlotte to eat because I'm getting my fork now because I'm actually getting hungry asking this question. So what would that be?
Oh man, that's tough. So the bad thing about after a show is it's so late that, you know, limited things are open. So obviously you have, you know, the McDonald's, the Wendy's, the Waffle House, the whatever, the Applebee's. But if it's not a show night, there's a few places I love. So there's an area called Noda, and it's basically North Davidson Street. But there's a lot of nice little restaurants. There's cool little like hipster shops you can walk up and down, and there's like a couple breweries down there. But I love Cabo fish taco, and everyone's like, wait, what's that? And I'm like, it's seafood, but it's Mexican. It's kind of like Mexicali blended together. That's one of my favorite places to go to in Charlotte.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard what Savannah said. Definitely, it's like a fish. It's like a Mexican, like some kind of like taco.
Yes.
If I pause for a minute on the show, I'm just like,
yes. Also, yes, I just also I thought of another place that's really good too. I tried it for the first time. Actually, two different places. I tried for the first time since the pandemic. One of them is called Soul Food. Uh, it's indoor, outdoor, but they have a lot of, you know, like Asian inspired dishes. So it's soul spelled, God, it's like E-U-L or C-O-U-E-L. And then next door they have a place called Let's Meat, M-E-A-T. And it's Korean barbecue. So I love that place as well. Let's Meet.
oh man, that you know, I can't think about food. We got the show to do, so I'm trying to think of food. Who doesn't love food? But like I said, on the course, we can just think about food, but we have the show to do. So, but go to Charlotte and go to wherever Savannah Evans says to check it out. But Charlotte, you know, I got to get down there too. Of course, not only to watch Savannah Evans wrestle, but also to try out a good restaurant in good old C-Town, which is Charlotte. Now, Savannah, Between the Ropes Radio, of course, we do the Creative Center on here. I don't know if you remember from the last show, but got to put you on the spot again. Now, if you're ready for the Creative Center question, ready to hear it?
Oh man, I guess so. Let's do it.
Okay, so you put on Twitter, of course. I was like, man, I wish I had this. You said you had a dream that you had $90,000, and again, I was like, oh damn. We all wish we had, you know, that's a lot of money. So you said on Twitter that you had $90,000. Now the question is though, if you had that and you had to book your own wrestling event, what would be the name? Were you going to wrestle in the main event? And what type of match would it be?
Okay, let me backtrack real quick. So yes, that was last night. I actually had a dream that I won $90,000. I guess I should have bought a lotto ticket today or something. But yeah, that was my dream. I woke up. But in the dream, I think I want to say the most important thing that I was trying to use this money for was taking care of some of my bills. That was the main thing in my dream I was concerned about. But but you're saying if I had to book my own, you said my own main event, who would it be?
Your own main event. The main event. What would the name of the show be? And it could be a singles match or a hardcore match. What type of match would it be?
Oh, what I booked for myself?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Huh. Ooh. I don't want to steal her idea, but my friend has always thought about opening a company called Lady Murder Death Wrestling. So maybe we'll say that's what I'll name it. And in that case, I guess I'd have to fit or get an opponent that fits that category. Maybe, cool, shoot. I don't know. Maybe a tables match with. I saw her just the other day. Maybe me and Thunder Rosa.
Nice. Now, hey, you know what though? That'd be a caliber match I would love to see. You ladies get just tear the roof off of that place. Hey, that would be a hell of a match. And of course, $90,000. Savannah got me thinking about that now. But hey, Savannah, you never know. I mean, I know we I saw that. I was like, oh, Savannah. She had to throw it. I was like, $90,000. But but the first thing you said, like you said, got to get them bills paid. But I look at it this way. Life throws balls at us, but we always somehow find a way to get by things, and that's what you're doing. I mean, they're Will's choice to get.
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought it was hilarious that even in my dream I was like, let me just get these bills paid. That has cracked me up.
Now, Savannah, of course, it's always an absolute honor to have you on the show. Of course, this is actually your second time being on the show, and we got to end out this awesome, awesome episode of Between the Ropes Radio, of course, with the one and the only Queens of Combat, Savannah Evans. The last question I got to ask you, of course, we all know you are busy. Now, we want to know everything about, of course, Grindhouse, any other events you have, and, of course, you know this quite well. Tell everybody why they should actually go to highspots.com as well, because you know High Spots quite well. So tell us all about all the stuff I just said.
Oh man, if this was live, I would tell you to go to the High Spots Facebook page right now. We got Britt Baker on doing a live gimmick table with Jake Manning, auctioning off some cool stuff, some gear, some signed merch. But we do that every Thursday. So whenever this gets posted, that following Thursday, we'll have guests. I don't know if I'm allowed to name, all the names right now, but you don't want to miss that. If you're not following High Spots on social media, especially Facebook, get on that. Also the High Spots Wrestling Network, $9.99. We know the deal. But oh yeah, what else? Why you should follow High Spots? I covered that. Social medias, right?
Yeah,
You wanted my social medias?
like I said, you can do whatever social.
All right, yeah.
Like I said, because the Queens of Combat, we gotta follow you, girl. We gotta follow you.
Yeah, no, for sure. The more the merrier, man. Twitter is Savannah Evans, the letter N, the letter because regular Savannah Evans was taken. Instagram and Facebook are both Savannah EVS, and Savannah Evans was taken. So that's what I can. And then again, I will be launching a new YouTube. I'm getting rid of the old one. So don't YouTube me on anything yet for, I guess, the next couple weeks. But I think that about covers it. Like I said, I got the Grindhouse show coming up. Please check that out on Fight TV, September 26th. The card has not been released yet. Hopefully the next couple of days it will be. But keep your eyes peeled for that. Let's, share, comment, retweet, all that stuff for that show. Let me think. And that's probably it for coming up right now. I might have a few things in the work. I have to make sure that these things are finalized first. But yeah, just follow me to keep up to date on everything that's going on.
And of course, I got to ask this because I know I'm sure the chances are probably pretty high. Savannah Evans, what are the chances between 1 and 10 of you ever coming back on Between the Ropes Radio for a third time?
I mean, it's up there, man. It's up there. I guess, has there ever been a third time guest appearance on the show?
I'm pretty sure, like I said, I kind of feel like my brain's like, woo, woo, woo. I'm pretty sure it's the second time. And if I'm wrong, everybody can kick my butt. I think this is your second time on the show.
It is, yeah. Do you get many third on the show? Would I be the first one?
You actually, I've had a couple.
Or rather, when I come back, would I be the third one?
When you come back, that'll be your third. Like I guess I've had some two-time Booker T say two-time.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of two-timers. That sound right, two-timers, because that sounds like a cheat. But anyway, I've had people on the show two times already.
I got you. All right. Well, yeah, I'll give it a solid 10. The chances of me coming back to be a third time, maybe the first, probably not, but I can be hopeful.
Well, most importantly, Miss Savannah, the fact that they'll stay healthy, stay safe in the ring. Good luck on your big show. Of course, we're talking about September 26th, Eddie Kingston's Grindhouse show. I know Savannah definitely wants to kill that. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for, of course, which will be airing on Facebook Watch Party, this episode of Between the Ropes Radio with the one, the only, Savannah Evans. I'm your boy Ty Asbury. We out. Peace.
Between the Ropes Radio. Yeah. Yeah. Let's take this between the ropes. The best podcast, I'm here letting you know. Tyrone Asbury here to take it over. Let the man speak as he here. The break is over. We in the culture for all the news in incredible style. No other podcast explaining it now. This is the show of the dreams. Information for all.
This is your boy Ty Asbury, of course, from the Ropes Media. And I have to say this. If you want to make some memories and get the absolute best wrestling gear that you can get, go to, of course, Sports Memorabilia, where they have anything that you need for your professional wrestling needs. You see the link on the bottom of the screen? Click on that link, get your gear, and get your groove on with Sports Memorabilia.